Hello everyone, welcome back to TRAINE TV. Nama saya Syahir Khalid, and today we have an interview with Malaysia football phenom Omar Azlan and his father Azlan Muhammad. So before we start, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you get more contents like this in the future that you will not miss. Thank you and stay tuned. Hi everyone, so again I am with Omar Azlan and his father Azlan Muhammad. Omar currently is with Red Star Belgrade in Serbia, and he's training with them, and he's back in Malaysia for a couple of weeks, yes?
Yeah.
To basically train with the national Under-19 squad. So Omar, how has it been? How's your experience so far in Malaysia?
Oh, it's been really good. It's great to be back after so long, after I think 4 years, 2018 last time I was here. And it's very nostalgic and great to be back here again, to get used to the weather, the people, the food of course. And it's great to be back.
Yeah, so speaking of food, what's been your favorite Malaysian food ever since you're back?
Ever since growing up, I've always been a fan of roti canai. Just a simple roti canai with all the curries, and it's always my go-to cheat meal whenever I'm feeling like it. Yeah.
Roti canai. And Milo ice, right? And Milo ice.
Yeah, of course. Have to have a side of Milo ice.
So obviously coming to Malaysia, you guys have a mission, an objective to compete. So what is it? What do you want to achieve here in Malaysia?
Oh, I'd love to be able to represent Malaysia internationally and be able to play for Malaysia and prove that Malaysia has something when it comes to sports and football, and bring more Malaysian talents and all over to Europe and that side of the football world. Yeah. That's what I really want to try and do. Yeah.
So I'm going to cross over to the father now, Mr. Azlan. If you can tell us a bit about the history of how Omar actually got involved in football.
Wow, okay. Well, Omar wasn't a footballer to begin with. He was into swimming. He started swimming, he won a lot of medals internationally and locally. So he started off at a very young age, started swimming, going to clubs, professional clubs, and he was doing really well. But he reached to a point where he came to me and said, "Dad, swimming is it's boring actually, right? I mean, 1.5 hours when you swim, you're talking to yourself in the water, whereas in football, it's more of a team spirit, and Omar, ever since he was small, he is a social kid. He can make friends very easily. So I think it was more tuned to him, to his character, that he wants to do football, and we were on board, The way that we, basically Omar's journey is basically we just support what he wants to do, and that's pretty much what we,
So how old was it when he transitioned from swimming to
swimming? He started swimming around 6 years old, 6, 7, right?
I started both swimming and football at like 6, but then I think at like 11 or 12 was the transition.
But we had a conversation on this. And then instead of him swimming competitively on the international level, he's just representing school and looking at swimming more like for fitness and endurance and all this. One thing I like to add is that the swimming also gives Omar the mental strength. Because when you are like getting up at 5 something in the morning, and by 6 we need to be at the swimming pool. I teach discipline at a young age. Also the mental strength, in the sense that you can do swimming for 1.5 hours alone. You're basically talking to yourself. So it builds the mental strength. Also the side effect of the you get fitness, endurance, core, and all this. So swimming was the foundation, I think.
So listen to that. The preparation is not just what you do in front of people, but it's also what you do behind the scenes. And discipline in football, discipline is everything. So you cannot get someone to push you, to keep pushing you to be able to get to where you, like Omar is today. So just a bit more. how I mean, Omar has always been talented in a lot of the things that he does. And obviously this is something that not many people may already know. He's also pretty good at playing the piano. Yeah, so how if you can share with us, how did you get into that?
So when we look at our kids, we want to give them as much exposure as we can, right? And we also notice that Omar is ever since we were small, he's pretty intuitive, pretty, like to do things, right? So we find ways that to make his his growing up more exciting. So we thought of, let's try it, music, and turns out he has a flair about music. He can pick up tunes very easily, when he listens something, he can just pick up, he can play the tune. So, and I also like the idea that, a smart athlete is a good athlete, right? So when you actually, with music, is, with your left and right hand, the coordination, it actually, work on your memory muscles, the brain itself. So we think that's also great when we look at our kids, they need to be more balanced in everything, And it turns out Omar has a flair in music as well, so we just continue to support, Yeah.
So let's get back into the football side of things, Omar. You have had a few sessions with the local players.
Yes.
What has been your biggest challenge so far?
I say getting used to the style of football. There is a difference between Europe and here, but then it's one of those where different philosophy from trainer to trainer. So as long as you're able to commit and do what the trainer wants you to do, and you have your full trust in the coach and the trainer, you should be able to get the results that you want. But also acclimatizing to the weather here as well, because back there in Serbia, it's very cold, rainy all the time. Here, it's hot but rainy. So that's something to get used to and get your body prepared for those kind of conditions. Yeah.
What about the among your peers, especially the language barriers? Is there any?
I feel like the kids that I've been training with so far since I've been here in Malaysia, they've been very welcoming, and they've been, even though their English isn't good, they've been trying and practicing with me. But also from a young age, I have spoken a little bit with my parents in Malay, so it's just bringing out that Malay from back then.
I'm sure everyone wants to hear a bit of Malay. So can we have something? Can we have something in Malay from you?
Nama saya Omar. Saya main bola sepak untuk Red Star Belgrade di Serbia. Dan apa lagi?
That's but I also understand that you speak Serbian.
Yes,
language as well.
Yeah.
Can you say the exact same thing right now?
Ja sam Omar Azlan i igram fudbal za FK Crvena Zvezda i to je to, ništa još.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. How many languages do you speak?
English for sure. I could say Malay. I think Serbian. I learned Spanish in school, but it's that like school standard, and yeah, I think that's it.
Arabic.
Arabic to an extent.
But
It's very school. Yeah.
And French as well in school, right? But you don't use.
No.
That was Aisha.
Yeah, that was Aisha.
Okay.
You don't speak multiple languages?
No, just Malay. No, I do actually.
You do?
I was working in Turkmenistan where they speak Russian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like Spasiba Balshoi, Kadila, Ti Krasivaya Glaza, That means you have beautiful eyes.
Oh. Dangerous. Speaking of that, I mean, this is a common question that anyone would probably ask a teenager dealing with, growing up especially as a high-profile individual, so to speak. But obviously, a boy is still a boy.
Yeah.
So you having that profile, I'm sure there's many interests Lots of, women wanting to be around you. So maybe if you can share a little bit about that experience and how are you handling it?
That's a loaded question.
Yes. How do I attack this question?
Yes.
Of course, yeah. Being a teenager, being a teenage boy, the temptation always comes around. I'll admit to that. But then I feel like having that sporting mentality and that discipline, I feel like I'm able to realize that it's what I want in that current situation, and it's not what I want in the future. So I feel like once I've established my future and made sure that I'm fine and able to provide for not only myself but for my family, then of course I'd start looking in that department.
Listen guys, this guy is 17 years old. He is 17 and speaking like a 30-year-old right here. I have to give that credit to you somehow, that is good parentage, obviously, not just the talent, the discipline, and also the maturity. So maybe you can give some of us some advice on how do you bring up your child so that he is what he is today, so to speak. Yeah.
I think a lot of credit goes to my wife. I'm the one who's always working overseas in oil and gas. Sometimes I leave the family 1-2 months. But my wife, I think, has been a great mom. Yeah. Our emphasis has always been family first. And we do scuba diving as a family. I chose that instead of golf, or I'm not putting down golf, but I already work like 4 or 5 weeks, sometimes 8 weeks away, and then if I play golf, I'll be leaving my family again. So we find an activity where everyone can be together, and we chose scuba diving. And I like to give the analogy with my children when they were small, that I asked them when we are scuba diving, where do you see me? They say behind. And then I say, why am I behind you? Then they will say, because if there's any danger in front, I can see. If there's anything behind, I'll be there. So, and true enough, if there's something, the father would do anything to even give their lives for the child and protect the family. And then I say, if you scuba dive with your friends, if there any sign of danger, what do? They will run. Right? The kids would say they will swim. So, who do you give your trust to? Who do you put emphasis and priority? So, at a young age, we put emphasis that family comes first. Yeah. So I think that's the foundation. Lots of love, lots of nurturing, lot of setting up barriers. Boundaries. Sorry, not barriers, boundaries. And lots of love, lots of listening. And support, don't impose your belief on your kids. Teach them to think, teach them to see which is right, which is wrong, and then if you get that right, inshallah everything be okay lah.
Basically, with your profile and with your potential of where you will be going in the future, a lot of people would like to be a part of that, or to even to a certain extent take advantage of that by wanting to represent you for the purpose of being monetarily rewarded, and that's just it. So how have you handled that?
I've with all this, in this department, I've always trusted my family. So anything, I ask my dad's opinion and close people who I can trust and who want the best for me. So we always have that inclusive decision, and it has to be unanimous. It's not like one person doesn't like the idea but other person does. It has to be everyone agrees with what they want. So I feel like me being young, I don't see many aspects or many parts of offers which my dad sees differently. So having that connection with this great team, I've been able to control and choose the right offers when it comes. Yeah. Right.
Now, before we end this, obviously a lot of people out there would like to know, especially the parents who have dreams of even their kids being at the position that you are in right now. So what would be your advice, first and foremost, to the kids in terms of them approaching the game and seeing it as a dream that actually comes to reality?
First of all, you have to realize that is this actually what you want to do? Because once you realize that it's what you want to do and it's what you actually love, and it's not because someone's like pressuring you into doing it, it has to be from your own will to be able to say, this is what I want to do with my life. Then it becomes easier, and you can implement it into your everyday life. You can, because it has to be a part of your life, because you need to be doing every single day to be able to compete at the very top level and to compete with others. Because this dream, everyone wants to be the great. Everyone wants to be like at the very top, but then only so little like put that much effort. So effort, dedication, and it doesn't really matter how much intensity your work is, but it's about how consistent your work is.
Yeah.
So that's very important when it comes to this part of life.
And I think that's where the swimming helps, you know, because it's day in, day out you have to do, you know. Right.
And the ability, I guess, to also handle the pressure of disappointment. Yes.
Yes. Being able to say that, and being mature enough to say that, oh, what I did there, it was my fault. How can I work on myself and make sure that it doesn't happen again? And being able to take criticism constructively and not take anything to don't take anything to heart. Yeah, just being able to have that filter and not let your emotions get the best of you. Yeah, it's just that mental battle.
And to the parents' perspective, maybe you can share a bit of advice on how should a parent handle situations or opportunities such as this. Yeah.
Okay. I think the benefit, I think the rewarding part of being a parent is you have to walk the talk. You have to lead by example. So if you want your children to gain success, you have to show that you also have to work hard to get the success that they want. So keep knocking on doors. Stand up for your kids. You know, be the support behind emotionally and whatever you can. You know, and don't be shy. Don't be shy. Keep knocking on people's door, and there's so many. And sometimes, you know, help comes from places that you don't expect. You know, it happens to Omar many times. I can elaborate. You know, if there is a challenge, it was never an easy task. And I think we were the very few. We don't have mentor ahead of us to tell us what's right, what's wrong, and you know, we just blaze through. And Alhamdulillah, you know, he get to where he is through the opportunity that we managed to open. But his dedication and hard work, I think, is all on him. Yeah.
If I may just steal one last question.
Go for it.
If you are to say something in appreciation to this man right here, would you mind saying it right now in front of us? Yeah.
I have to thank everything that I've been able to succeed so far in my life has been always to my parents, and especially my dad. My dad has risked his life and risked his career just to get the best for me, my sister and I. Yeah, he's always put the family first and us first rather than himself, which I am truly grateful for. I wouldn't be able to be in this position right now if it wasn't for my family and my parents' support, because that support is very important.
Thank you.
Happy Father's Day. Yeah.
So I guess that's it. Do you have any last thing to say before we wrap this up?
I'm just grateful to Allah that I have wonderful kids, Omar and Aisha.
Alhamdulillah. And I guess you see it right here in front of you, you know, how proud and grateful a father is to spend the time and to give the commitment that he has for his child growing up, and to see where his child is today and the man that he is. I'm not even going to call him a boy anymore. The man that he is, where he is now, and hopefully where he will be in the future is fantastic. So guys, thanks again for tuning in to TRAINE TV. And I hope you have enjoyed the interview today. And for more content, don't forget to subscribe to us, and so you won't miss any future content such as this. Thank you again, and have a good day. Bye.
Yeah.